My dear students, again we are here for our next history class, and today I am going to start with this chapter, which is India under the Delhi Sultanate. This is the new chapter and this is chapter number 5. So if you have your books, I want you all to look into your books, or else just listen carefully. So the topic again, India under the Delhi Sultanate. As you know, the Islamic rule began in India with the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. So in the previous class, we did about the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so the different dynasties, there were 5 dynasties under the Delhi Sultanate. So we did about that. So this Islamic rule began in India with the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. And at that time, the Islamic culture was at its zenith. Zenith means at its highest peak, Z-E-N-I-T-H, which means at its highest peak. Muslims had made great progress in the field of science, astronomy, literature and architecture. So the Muslims, they had made a lot of progress in all the fields, be it astronomy, science, literature, everywhere. And during this 300 rule of the sultans, so the Delhi Sultanate, the sultans, they ruled for 300 years. So in this 300 years of the sultans of the Delhi Sultanate, the politics, economy, religion and culture of India were greatly influenced by the Islamic culture. So the politics, economy, religion, culture, everything was influenced by the Islamic culture. And following the interaction between the Muslims and the Hindus, a new Indo-Islamic, now this word Indo-Islamic, now there was a fusion of both Indo, that is India, Islamic, is I-S-L-A-M-I-C, Indo-Islamic, okay, both India and the Muslim or Indian and the Islamic culture, okay, it influenced, it was, there were interaction of both the Muslims and the Hindus, and a new Indo-Islamic culture evolved which left a lasting impact on the lives of the people in India. So both Hindus, H-I-N-D-U-S, Hindus and the Muslims, interaction came up with this culture which was Indo-Islamic culture, and this Indo-Islamic culture left a lasting impact on the life of the people in India. So now we will do this topic, which is society and religion. Society and religion. Society and religion. Under this, there were social division. The society was now divided. In the Delhi Sultanate, the society was divided into 4 groups. So under the Delhi Sultanate, the society, it had how many groups? 4. The society was divided into 4 groups. So now in this Delhi Sultanate, there was a division in this society, and this society was divided into 4 groups. First one, aristocrats, that is aristocrat means the upper class people, okay, the royal family, the sultan, the wealthy class people, the priest, okay, like the Brahmins for the Hindus, ulemas for the Muslims, town people, okay, like those town people like traders, craftsmen, artisans, and common people or the farmers. Okay, so first is aristocrats, second priest, and third town people, and lastly the farmers or the common people. Okay, let's say the farmers, common people. Now The aristocrats, we'll go to the first one. The aristocrats, they formed the highest and the most powerful group in the social hierarchy. Hierarchy means the rank, okay, they were all right on the top, from top to bottom, they were right on the top. And this wealthy class comprised the Sultan, the royal family, the nobles, the landlords, the Hindu kings and the princes. Okay, so all the upper class, high class, wealthy people. Second, the priest. This class consisted of religious and legal scholars such as ulemas and qazi. Ulemas are Muslim scholars, qazi again the chief judge, and the Hindu Brahmins. The Muslim religious scholars held high position in the administration. And Brahmins on the other side, they were held in high esteem by the Hindu rulers and masses. So for the Muslims, okay, who in this second class, who took the highest position was the ulemas, and for the Hindus it was the Brahmins. Now coming to the third point, which is the town people. As is clear from their class name, these people, they lived in towns and they comprised what? Traders, artisans, craftsmen, and the traders were prosperous. They had made a lot of profit, they were prosperous. Then artisans are those manual workers, okay, craftsmen again, traders, business. Then we come to the fourth, which is farmers and the common people. The farmers, they form the class of the common people. As compared to the other three classes, the farmers were the suppressed class. So among all these three classes, the farmers, they were the suppressed, they were the lowest. Okay, they, in this hierarchy, they were right at the bottom. Okay, and they were suppressed class. They were often subjected to heavy tax. So these farmers, they had to pay heavy tax. Their conditions became more deplorable. It was very, very miserable when their crops were destroyed in famine or by flood. And the administration provided no relief measures, no help was provided to these farmers when there was famine or flood. Okay, and their life was very miserable compared to the other three classes. Now moving on to religion. I hope you are clear with the first one, the social group. Now we move on to the next, which is religion. Religion. The Muslim religious scholars, the ulemas. Ulemas were the Muslim scholars. They were the highest authority in religious matter. So in all the religious matter, the ulemas, okay, for Hindus it was the Brahmins, for Muslims it was the ulemas. They also they also greatly influenced the policy of the Delhi sultans, who consulted them in important matters. So the sultans used to consult these ulemas for all important matters. Some orthodox ulemas were instrumental in framing of such state policies and created rift between the Hindus and the Muslims. So some of the ulemas were very orthodox and they created a rift. Rift means they created a split, a gap between the Hindus and the Muslims. The Hindus and the non-Muslims were subjected to high taxes like jizya. Okay, this is the tax which they had to pay. Like because of this ulemas, some of the Hindus and let's say the Hindus and the non-Muslims, they had to pay this pilgrimage tax, jizya. If you have to go to if you want to visit some holy places, you have to pay some tax. The spread of Islam greatly affected the religious belief of the lower caste Hindus, who were often badly treated in the upper caste by the upper caste Hindus. So the spread, why the Muslim, or let's say why this Islamic religion it spread? Because the lower caste Hindus were badly treated by the upper class Hindus. So these lower caste Hindus, they were very much impressed by the Islamic ideas of the equality of man and the unity of God. So in Islam, there were no caste system. Okay, the upper caste did not, or let's say the lower caste, okay, were treated equally as the upper class in the Muslim religion. So the lower caste people were so much impressed that they got converted to Islam. Some Hindus also accepted Islam so to escape paying the jizya tax. So some of the Hindus, okay, they wanted to escape this pilgrimage tax, so that's why they got converted to Islam. Okay, so how this Islamic religion spread is because first they were upper class Hindu who dominated the lower class Hindu, and this lower class Hindu, they saw that in the Islamic religion that this domination was not there. Okay, this domination was not there in Islamic religion. So there were equality. Okay, there were unity of God. So because of this, they wanted to convert to Islam. And the next, another reason why they wanted to convert was they wanted to escape paying this jizya tax. The Sultanate period also saw the birth of religious reform movement. So religious reform, there were so many reform, there were changes in this religious movement, reform movement. So these were Sufism of the Muslims and the Bhakti movement of the Hindus. So they were religious reform movement for the Hindus. Okay, for the Hindus it was Bhakti movement, B-H-A-K-T-I, Bhakti movement, and for the Muslims it was the Sufism, F-I-S, Sufism. And the proponent means the supporters of these movements, they were against religious rituals like this various kind of sacrifices. Okay, this was not liked by this reformers, let's say the religious reformers. They stressed on complete devotion to God. So their main aim was just devotion, devote yourself to God. Okay, clear these two. So here you have to remember, for the Hindus, the religious reform movement, they were religious reform movement. For the Hindus, it was the Bhakti movement. For Muslims, it was the Sufi movement. Now we move on to the administration and economy. So in this administration, so next is administration and economy. So under this administration, here, the Delhi Sultans gave India a firm and stable government. So Delhi Sultan gave India a firm and very stable government. Throughout the Sultanate period, the administrative setup remained the same. So this administrative setup, it remained the same throughout this Sultanate period. The Sultan was the head of the state. So who was the head of the state? It was the Sultan. He ran the administration with an iron hand. Just single hand he ran this administration. He was very strong. All the Sultans were very strong and capable. His words was the law. The right to the Sultanate throne was not hereditary. So after the father died, it was not the throne, it did not go to the son. Okay, so it was not, you know what is hereditary. So, okay, father to son. So it was not like that. So in running the administration, the Sultan was helped by whom? The Council of Ministers. So Sultan had Council of Ministers. So Sultan was the head. And under him he had Council of Ministers. And this Council of Ministers, the head of the Council of Ministers was Wazir. Okay, the head was Wazir, W-A-Z-I-R, which means the Prime Minister. The Wazir held the second highest office in the administration after the Sultan. So Sultan was the head, under him was Wazir or the Prime Minister. He looked after the fiscal means the financial administration, and the judiciary function was under Qazi-ul-Qawat. Okay, Q-U-A-Z-A-T or Qazi. So all this financial matter was looked after by Wazir, and all this judiciary function was under whom? Qazi-ul Qazat or Qazi. Okay, that is the judge, the chief judge. He was the chief judge and he supervised the administration of justice in the kingdom. And the army affairs were handled by an officer called Ariz. So the military, or let's say army, it was under whom? It was under Ariz, A-R-I-Z, Ariz, M-A-M-A-L-I-K, Mamalik, M-A-M-A-L-I-K, Mamalik. Okay, so this military administration was under Ariz Mamalik. This administrative division of the Sultanate in descending order was the following pattern. So, the administrative system was according in the Delhi Sultanate in descending order was first province, then Sheikh, Parganas and village. So, the administration was like this. First was, for administration. Administration first was the provinces, then second was Sheikh, third was Parganas and last is village. Parganas and last is villages. Okay, P-A-R-G. Okay. So province, it was a huge province, okay, as a whole. Let's say this, from within the province were, let's say the sheikhs, again this was divided, and from here Parganas, again Pargana divided and it became village. A governor ran the administration of the province with the help of the officer called Nuqtis, N-U-Q-T-I-S. So, the governors, so in each of the provinces there were governors and governors. The governor, they ran the administration of the province with the help of the officers. So, in each of the provinces there were officers and they were known as Nuqtis. The officers who headed the sheikh, the officer of these provinces were known as Nuqtis. Officer of the sheikh was known as Shikdar. The village was the smallest administrative unit. So, village, as you see, this was the smallest administrative unit of the Delhi Sultanate. Its administration was run by Muqaddam, the village headman, and Patwari, the record keeper, and Munsif, accountant. The village panchayat used to settle local disputes. So, all these local disputes were settled by the village. The village panchayat themselves. Okay. So, I will stop here, and in the next class again I will revise what I have done, and I want you all to go through and I will send you notes on whatever I have done today. Okay, all this explanation. Thank you.